Hey folks, it's Mack here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us with Impact Wrestling for our second of the 4 tapings for the month of September. I feel it's a bit of a tentative show. I feel like because we now have the 2-week gap between tapings and obviously a lot can happen in that time, that I feel like some of the Against All Odds card will be made today. The rest will obviously be made in those last 2 episodes when we've got a better understanding that most of our roster should remain unscathed. Of course, the last time we lost Leo Rush to a year-long injury, our X-Division champion at the time. So yeah, just carry on a few feuds here. Hopefully you enjoy the show as we continue to build the company up. But let's do it. This is this week's Impact Wrestling on Access TV. So if you joined us for last week's show, you'll know that EC3 was defeated by the returning Jeff Hardy. And in front of the 720 fans at the Orpheum, EC3 cuts a few words. He says it's a travesty that people like Jeff Hardy can leave this company and come back and just be handed stuff on a plate. Oh, the irony of that, EC3 in this save. But he just basically says he's trying to get back to becoming a world champion, and it just feels like people like this are just proven to be roadblocks to him. He's going to get his revenge on Jeff Hardy. He's going to take him out again, so he can firmly put his sights on the world champion, who at the moment, of course, is Ace Austin. So a 58 rated segment for that, and EC3's in action in our opening matchup. Decent matchup, he defeats Tommy Dreamer in 10:06 with the Sweet Meat Sizzler. A 52 matchup was always just here to put some more momentum into EC3, and sorry Tommy, but you basically in the role of putting people over. So a good EC3 performance, 63 there in tonight's opener. We then have another kind of enhancement matchup as we have a decent match that saw Moose defeat Griff Garrison in 5:48 with a game breaker. A 52, 31 for Griff Garrison here, and a 55 for Moose. He cuts a 63 promo, and it's probably actually one that could rival what EC3 says. He's been kind of lingering a bit on the main, main roster, on the Impact roster here. He's had chances to become world champion, but he's never really had that real one-on-one opportunity. He just says he's going to keep on beating people down. It doesn't matter who it is, but if anyone stands in his way of becoming Impact world champion, he will beat them down and make sure he can win that title at any cost. So a lot of people gunning for Ace Austin. Then had some tag team action. We had a good matchup, so the team of Sami Callihan and Phoenix team up together to defeat Violent by Design's Eric Young and Ken Shamrock in 12:28 when Phoenix pinned Ken Shamrock with a Meteora. This was a 58. My reason for this one is again just building up some momentum with Sami Callihan and Phoenix. I think the first couple of tapings of every month will just be to give people momentum. I don't want to have Joe Doring losing at the moment, so that's why he was not using this matchup. And Shamrock, I think we're going to slowly but surely phase out just purely because of his age. So we'll look to do that as my phone decides to go off. Brilliant. You can always count on that in the middle of a recording. Then had a promo from the new Knockouts champion, Taya Valkyrie, and the woman that stepped in to help her achieve that, Fierce Trinidad. She says they go long back. I don't know if they actually do in real life, but just let's say they do. And it was a friend coming in to help a friend. They're going to show that they are 2 of the most talented women within the world of wrestling, and that Fia will do anything she can to ensure that Taya remains the woman of the Knockouts champion. I must say, a very strong 57 promo from those 2. Next up, I decided to continue the theme of the Knockouts action. It was a decent matchup that Jordan Grace defeat Tennille Dashwood in 8:36 with a fall from Grace. A 49 rated segment here. Pretty even in terms of in-ring performance. My reason was Tennille has obviously done very well. She was unlucky not to capture the Knockouts Championship herself, and I feel like Jordan has all the talent that's required, but just maybe doesn't quite have the overness that we need. So a few victories here will hopefully elevate her on the road to doing so. Then have another hype package for the soon to debut Richard Holiday. Again, just basically being smug as hell and just saying he's looking forward to all you, the consumers, to purchasing all his merchandise and making him very rich. So a 51 promo there from Richard Holiday. I think he'll probably debut either in the month of October or maybe just after Bound for Glory when we hit the reset button. Then did some more tag team action, and we had a decent matchup. That's the team of Chris Hero and Brian Myers, the most professional wrestlers, defeat Heath and Rhino in 7:56 when Brian Myers pinned Heath with the heat-seeking elbow. Chris Hero carried the match with a 62 performance, and the overall segment being a 54. Again here, just building up momentum for the most professional wrestlers. I do feel Rhino's probably one we may see departing the company in the not too distant future. Moving along, we had a backstage attack, and it was the North out of nowhere just deciding to beat down Enzo and Kaz and leaving them down and out, 51. My reason here is just basically, again, giving these two tag teams something to do, but while the beatdowns ensuing, we just hear Ethan Page mutter, "You've not got such a big mouth now, have you, when you're down on the ground?" So, maybe not too happy with some words that Enzo has said over the course of the last few months in Impact. 51 for that. Next up, I had a decent matchup that saw Suicide defeat Chris Sabin in 8:46 by pinfall following a distraction from Alex Shelley. This was a 44. Unfortunately, Chris Sabin was off his game. This gave me an opportunity to obviously give Suicide a victory over a recognisable name. It allows me to continue the feud between Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and allows us to continue to add depth to an X division, of course, that is headed by absolute Ricky Starks. So hopefully that can help get Suicide up to the level of a Sabin and a Shelley. I mean, he is still only like 24 in this. Ariel Dominguez, of course. Then I had Chris Sabin just take an absolute temper tantrum, the fact he's lost to Suicide, and the fact that despite defeating Alex Shelley last week, he remains a thorn in the side of Chris Sabin. Then had the Acclaimed come out, and they have making their Impact debuts. I'm not going to try and rap here, but Caster basically berates Triple XL in the ring, and Anthony Bowens tells the world that Impact Wrestling, the Acclaimed, have arrived. 31 there, rapper gimmick, 5 tool player gimmick, adequate and great respectively for Caster and Bowens. And their matchup was terrible. Acclaimed defeat XXL in 5:45 when Max Caster pinned Larry D. AC Romero carried the matchup. Of course, there's not really any overness onto Caster and Bowens, but I want to bring them in. I want to try and get them over. And a 35 for the match, a 29-26 for the in-ring. AC Romero carrying the matchup, but the Acclaimed have arrived in Impact Wrestling. Then a promo from Jeff Hardy, and he just says a few words on EC3, and he says it's curious that that's what EC3 thinks. Jeff Hardy beat him down last week with a win. Anytime if he wants to be taught a lesson again, then Jeff Hardy will be more than willing to do that. Hell, why not in front of many of the creatures of the night against all odds? So offering a challenge to EC3 if they want to go one-on-one at the pay-per-view. And their main event, good matchup. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton defeat Rich Swann and Willie Mack 11:39 even, when Ace Austin pinned Willie Mack with a house of cards. A 59 made this my steal the show main event. Not the most glamorous of matchups in terms of a 70 matchup or a 65 or whatever, but I feel like it gives the champion a nice victory, a clean victory over Willie Mack. Both Swann and Austin benefit from having a hot new move, and we finish the show with the heels celebrating. So no Matt Cardona, he's been taken down, but yeah, we just have Austin and Fulton standing tall to end the show with a 62. Thus giving us a 50 overall, increasing our popularity in 34 regions, and the show appearing worse because of our production values. Still, I think it's decent. I think there's a lot of wrestlers that we've still not really used in these set of tapings. We've not seen too much from Eddie Edwards, we've not seen too much from the Good Brothers, FTR, so plenty of people that have got to come in, Pentagon Jr., and obviously limiting Ricky Starks because of his contract. Yeah, we don't want to lose him straight away back to AEW because it is only a loan. But yeah, overall pretty delighted with that. The joy of the two tapings is we can basically go into the home screen. This will give me 2 weeks then to see what we can do, and then fully have a card prepared for those final 2 weeks tapings on the road to Against All Odds. Then the pressure really mounts up as we head to Bound for Glory. Hopefully there's not too much going on here. Oh, it does seem like there's a few things popping up there. I saw something saying Jeff Hardy. I'm like, please to God, don't be an incident. That is not what we need at this moment in time. Impact. Show was awesome. Byron Saxton gets a new contract. Impact was 0.19, so you can see here we have got a long way to go. While we're on Access TV, we are going to be struggling. But I don't even want to try and get a new show. I don't think we can because of the Premier Sports deal went down. So yeah, I think we are kind of like stuck here for a long time. So it is what it is, but we are, as I say, 49 in our own region, so we are going to be plugging away just to get to medium. I think once we get to medium, I think it's December before we can try and get new TV shows, but I'd like to try and get to medium before we attempt that, because there may be a better amount of coverage available, bigger networks. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much to add. We'll see what happens over the course of the next 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens when you join us for the next bunch of tapings as we head to Against All Odds. You can see there, and then it'll be the 4-week run to Bound for Glory. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I shall see you soon. Bye bye.